Right, guys, today I'm going to be dropping some hot heat, right? And I'm going to be talking about what I think is the future of Amazon FBA brands. I've just had a triple shot latte, a triple shot ice latte. You know, there's caffeine running through my veins. So let's do it. I'm ready for this. So the brand that I want to talk a bit about today, or one of the brands I want to talk about today, is this brand called Create Wellness. Now, their main SKU, their main product is these creatine gummies, right? You might have seen me talk about creatine before. I've done a couple of videos, a couple of lives on this topic. There's a few key points that I think for everybody watching this video, they are extremely important, interesting. So listen in and let's dive in. So first of all, there's a few points about the product itself that I think as beginners to Amazon FBA, if you're watching this as a beginner, it's really interesting to kind of start to understand these things. The first one is the type of product that this is. Now, if you have a look, this is a subscription-based product, which I will admit, when I first got into Amazon FBA, every single Amazon guru on YouTube will tell you, don't go near consumables, don't go near subscription stuff. And they're all completely wrong. That's because most of these people don't actually sell on Amazon, don't have a clue what they're doing. This is a product that has super high margins because of the nature of the product, but it's also a product that people buy every single month. Now, to come over to our Amazon account, we've recently launched about 3 subscription-based products. So you can see all of these sales here are from people that have subscribed to our brand now. So that means every single month, they automatically are buying the product. Now, we don't have many. I think we've got about 40 subscriptions since we first launched our subscription-based products. But our goal within the next 12 months is to build up a few thousand subscribers for our brand. And that's going to make it so insanely valuable when we want to come to sell it later on, well, in the next couple of years, basically. So that's the first thing that as a beginner that you should understand, right? Don't exclude subscription-based products. In fact, you should probably be really looking out for them when you're doing your product research. The next interesting thing, right, is these types of products are generally quite high margin because they're really small. You can pack tons of these in a box. These are probably actually sourced in China. Now, if you think about supplements, right, most people would think that supplements are from the US. They wouldn't want to get them from China. I'm pretty sure this is actually sourced in China because if you look, it says made in an FDA registered facility. Now, if these were made in the USA, you can guarantee that these guys would be saying they're made in the USA. And I actually thought, yeah, most supplements are US based, but it's not really true. Now, just one thing that I want to make clear, right, is I'm not telling beginners to go and launch creatine gummies or supplements. In general, they are incredibly competitive niches. But there are some caveats to that. Some of the smaller markets in Europe are less competitive. And also, there are non-human supplement consumables like pet supplements, pet food, human food. Like there's a lot of consumable or repeat purchase products that, as beginners, honestly, you should be looking at. And there might not be only beginners watching this video, so you guys should be looking at it as well. So basically, this brand does about $400,000 a month on Amazon, right? This is one of the most competitive spaces at the moment, right? Because so many people have caught onto this trend of creatine gummies. Now, if I search it up here, what you're going to see is all of these keywords come down here, right? This is a tool called Helium 10. So if you don't have Helium 10, check out the video description because we've got a discount code for it. So a couple of interesting things, right? So creatine gummies, if you look at the search trend for this, it's gone absolutely nuts over the past couple of years, right? So this is one of the first key things that I want you to take away from this video. You should be keeping an eye on trends. You should always be keeping an eye on trends, right? Sign up to trends newsletters. There's one from HubSpot. It's called HubSpot Trends. Sign up to e-commerce newsletters. We're actually going to be releasing one very, very soon. You should be keeping an eye on what's happening in the world and in the world of consumerism, right? Because these things, these trends are the hottest things that you can try and get onto if you want to actually build something that can grow over time, right? So imagine you started down here to research creatine gummies and you kind of saw that, right? Okay, 2022, okay, there's been a little bit of a bump. So we've actually we actually went from like 1,200 to, 4,000, 5,000. If you started to look at this data back then of how many people are searching for creatine gummies, you might have got an indication, like the guy that started this brand, this guy here called Dan McCormick, He does an interview here actually on the Danny Miranda podcast talking about this brand. If you'd have seen this back then, right, you would have had the perfect opportunity to kind of bring a product to market. Now, this is not like fidget spinners. This is not like these flash in the pan products that where they go crazy and then they just disappear, right? This is kind of like a change in macro trends and consumerism in general, where people's behavior changes. Now, the reason this came about is because there was products like apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar, I don't know when it became super, super popular. We'll probably be able to see with the data here, right? So you can see 143,000. This is one of them that all of a sudden people started searching. I mean, it's been pretty popular for quite a few years, right? It has grown a little bit. But what happened is all of these products that were historically like liquid form, they kind of boomed and companies started to turn them into gummies because it's just more convenient and it's just easier to see. So you can see here back in 2019, nobody was really searching for it. Didn't really exist. And then it booms, right? It's boomed. It looks like it's peaked and then it's kind of dropped off. And then this is probably where it's going to, stay around this area. And it'll probably happen the same with creatine gummies. That will peak and then it'll sort of even out just like most things do. But that's the other important thing to take away from this video. Like I said, is look at trending data. Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk about that I think is very interesting, that I heard Dan McCormick say in this video, I don't think it's at this bit, so I'm not going to play it. He said that 75% of the people that buy this product are women. Now, what's really interesting about this is historically, creatine was a product that was aimed at men that go to the gym. Like if you just type in creatine, right? Let's have a look, Amazon.com. If you just type in creatine, what you're going to see is a load of like manly looking brands, right? You've got this, Gorilla, like sort of, this is Optimum Nutrition. This is one of the oldest sort of supplement sort of muscle and fitness type brands that's, been around for years. But most of these brands, not this one, because I'm going to talk about this in a minute. Most of these brands historically are very sort of masculine. They're aimed at men. So what Dan McCormick sort of figured out was that creatine isn't really being marketed towards women. And he said a stat that blew my mind, that 75% of the people that buy his product, or at least 12 months ago when he made this video, were women. Now, I think this brand is doing almost $1 million a month now. It does 400,000 a month just on Amazon. If we take a look at the revenue graph, you'll basically see that, yeah, it's gone, this is just 2024. So you can even see in 2024, it's just boomed. I don't know how much they're doing through their website. I assume probably at least what they're doing on Amazon. So I would say they're doing minimum $800,000 a month now, possibly up to like $1 million a month. But this is another really key point. If you can find products that historically are aimed at a very specific demographic, and then you can pivot and you can start selling those products to another demographic that's kind of underserved, then you potentially have got a really good product opportunity, because creatine is actually very, very good for you, especially if you're going to the gym. And Dan realized that most people are really badly educated about it. They don't really understand it. So there's an opportunity to educate people within the advertising. And he also realized that it was mostly aimed at men. So for me, this unlocks a lot of very interesting concepts, because then I started to think like, well, what other products are historically just aimed at women, right? And another good example that I thought of was this brand called Dude Wipes. So Dude Wipes is, I think they do crazy amounts of revenue. Like I think they do 3 million a month just on Amazon. Dude Wipes are basically, what do you call them? Hygiene wipes, baby wipes, whatever you want to call them. They're wipes. You go to the toilet, you do whatever. Historically, all of this was just kind of aimed, at women. It was very feminine, or it was aimed at, babies or mums. But they just came along and they just made, these super sort of male branded kind of baby wipes, and they just killed it because they aimed at men. My initial thought was what other products could you do that with? The one that I thought of off the top of my head was like cleaning products, right? So cleaning products, historically, I mean, if you're a bit of a male chauvinist pig, it should be women that are cleaning, all that jazz. Whatever you think about who should be cleaning products, men clean as well, like I'm not the tidiest of person, but I still buy cleaning products. There's a really big brand that I've seen in the UK called Purdy and Fig. Now, this brand is doing £50 million a month. I might do a video just on this brand. So if you do want to see me do this, put a comment below. Comment Purdy and Fig, and I'll make a video breaking down this brand. But basically, this is a subscription-based brand where they sell cleaning products, right? I think on Amazon, they're doing, I'm not really sure, like maybe 40, 50,000 a month, maybe a little bit more. But what this got me thinking, right, was can you steal this idea of targeting a demographic that's not usually targeted with a specific product? So Purdy and Fig, I think they're doing over £100,000 a month, maybe. So that got me thinking, this is still kind of aimed really at women, but can you actually aim this at men? So could you create a cleaning solution product and make it super tongue-in-cheek, aim it specifically at men, and kind of do that to really, really stand out? Another example of this done really well within the creatine space is this brand here, right? Creatine for booty gain. So no men are buying this, right? Maybe you get gay guys buying this because they like to, say they've got a big booty sometimes. I've got some gay friends, they say that sort of stuff. But basically, this is another example of a brand where they've seen creatine historically targeted at men, and they create something that's targeted at women. So this should get the neurons firing in your brain, right, for ideas of how you can apply these same concepts. Can you do a subscription-based product? Doesn't have to be supplements. Could be something else. It could be cleaning products. It could be food. Could be snacks. It could be anything. Can you do a subscription-based product or a non-subscription-based product? But could you do a product that's historically aimed at women or historically aimed at men, and you flip it on its head and you aim it at the opposite demographic, and you do all of the branding around that? Because this is probably going to be 95% women that buy this, right? Probably even higher. But they don't care about that because they want to appeal specifically to women, and they know women want to build a big old booty. That's why they're always doing those glute exercises and stuff in the gym, innit? So these are a couple of really important concepts. Another important concept for kind of the future of Amazon brands and all that type of stuff, right, is, in my opinion, if you really want to kill it, if you really want to do these sorts of numbers and you want to build a big brand, you really need to be building external traffic. Now, all of these companies that are absolutely killing it, they are building external traffic. They are doing meta ads. They are doing TikTok ads. So if you search create creatine on TikTok, you'll see videos like this, right? I don't think you'll be able to hear this, but basically this woman is saying, ladies, if you go to the gym and you're not taking creatine, what the hell are you doing with your life? She is educating her audience on why they should use creatine. And this is one of Dan's strategies, was sending this product to tons of influencers and getting them to talk about the product in a very specific way, because this guy knew that most women don't take creatine because it's seen as a product that is specifically for men. And I think there's even rumors that it causes hair loss. Maybe that, a lot of women say they don't want to get big and bulky. So this guy knew all of that, and he knew there was this stigma, but he also knew there's hundreds of millions of women that are going to the gym. Don't quote me on that number, but there's a lot of women that are going to the gym these days. So that's a huge market of people. So when you're doing your Amazon product research, right, these are all the type of things, historically everybody just says, use helium-10, do this. If you want to think a little bit of a level higher, this is the sort of stuff that you need to be thinking about. And even as a beginner, I think you should be thinking about this from the beginning. It doesn't mean that, you have to go out and create a supplements brand, but if you really try to understand who is buying the products, who else might be buying the products, what currently exists in the market, how can I do something different, how can I stand out? Because this is not rocket science. This guy is probably sourcing these in China. It's not that difficult to create a product like this. Honestly, it's not. I'm not trying to undersell what this guy's done. It's incredible, but it's honestly not as difficult as you think. And when you start to think about Amazon FBA as not Amazon FBA, but as just e-commerce, it unlocks so many opportunities for stuff like this with influencers, with meta ads. Because if you type in the Facebook ad library, this is a really good tip that I spend a lot of time on here. So what you can see is create creatine. You can basically search for any brand. Just search Meta ad library or Google ad library, whatever. Not Google ad library. That's a whole nother company, Alex. So look, you'll see all of these ads here, right? And you can filter by, active, inactive, all the platforms, whatever. So what you'll see is a lot of videos where they're actually educating their audience. But you can see this is mostly women. And then what they're doing, calling all fitness girlies. So they know the demographic very, very well. So, I mean, honestly, my first sort of thought was this was cleaning products specifically aimed at men. And honestly, I might start that brand and just make 10 million and then never make a YouTube video again. I'm just kidding. I enjoy making these. It's not because of the money. Just kidding. I actually do really enjoy them. So I'm rambling on a little bit, but hopefully you can sort of collect all the information. Subscription-based products. Find markets where products are aimed at one specific demographic. Can you flip it on its head and can you aim it at something else? Look at these big brands. Look at their Facebook ad library. Look at what other brands like these guys are doing. Look at subscription-based stuff. The beauty of all this, right, is the margins on this stuff are really, really high because people will pay, 40, 50 bucks for this. Let's have a look how much it is. It's so select size, one-time purchase, 200. So start to what? Orange, 1 month, 90. So for 90 of these, it's 70 bucks. That's so expensive, man. I mean, I guess you're having that's 1 month's worth of creatine. That's 3 of these gummies a day. I mean, I don't know what they'll be making these for. There's no way they're making these. These are costing them more than $10 to make, and they're selling it for 70 bucks. And if you think about how cheap it is to ship this sort of stuff. So look, I'm rambling on. I've lost my tab where I am. But basically, yeah, I think this is looking at these brands is super, super useful for you, right? And if you're looking at this and you're a beginner and you're thinking it's a bit overwhelming, and obviously these guys have got a lot of money to be funding meta ads, all that type of stuff, you don't need to go big from the beginning. You can go very, very small. If you enjoy this sort of content, right, let me know, because I'm taking a bit of a different angle, because this is what we're doing with our business now. And I want to teach you guys the same. I don't think there's anybody on YouTube doing Amazon FBA content like we are. Nobody doing this sort of stuff. But I need to see comments below, because I don't know whether people enjoy it. I don't know whether people want to look at these types of brands, or do you just want to look at normal product research videos? I can do it all. I'm multifaceted. I'm like a Swiss Army knife, people call me, Many, many uses. I'm just kidding. So basically, yeah, let me know in the comments below if you like this. I've got so many brands I can look at, and hopefully you can see that I'm excited about it, because I've just had 3 shots of coffee as well. But now I really enjoy looking at these, because it's so useful for what we're doing with our own brand. We're launching Facebook ads. We're doing TikTok stuff. We've actually had TikToks blow up and get like 1 million views, which is wild. But you can learn so much by looking at these brands, and you can create your own little mini version of it and start small and then scale it up. And it's so much fun, man. It's so much fun. It's so much fun doing this and trying to get this, the holy grail of create creatine, getting this branded search, which you might have seen me talk about before, right? Look at it, 20,000 searches a month, because they're doing all of this advertising, because they're doing meta ads, because they're doing TikTok. People are coming to Amazon to search for the brand. And that was supposed to be my final point about the future of Amazon FBA, but I got a bit sidetracked. So what happens when you don't plan these videos? You just switch the camera on and hot heat comes out. But anyway, let me know in the comments below if you liked it. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.